The Phantom Frequency. Part 1. Opening and Setup. I've always believed that every machine keeps a piece of what it once heard. It isn't spirituality. It's wear, dust, and the magnetic residue of memory that never quite fades. If you rewind long enough, the past offers itself back, in exchange for a little patience and a little sleep. It was February 1987 on the northern coast. I repaired radios and cassette decks in a small workshop that smelled of solder and sea salt. The sign outside read, Technica Santos Electronica, but people just called me the tape guy. Bring me a radio that hissed, and I'd hand it back, letting you hear even the ghosts between the frequencies. That Monday, a man in a grey blazer came in. He left a Panasonic portable recorder, a tape already inside, and a single sentence. It records on its own, he said. Who records? I asked. You tell me. He paid in advance, asked for a receipt with no name, and disappeared like someone who doesn't want to exist on paper. I should have opened the recorder, checked the belts, cleaned the heads, replaced the pinch roller. Routine. But there's a chemistry between mystery and money that rewires the brain of anyone who works with noise. So I pressed play. At first, nothing but seafoam static. Old tapes always sing before they confess. Then came the thing I both feared and wanted most to hear. A female voice, metallic, distant, reciting numbers in the rhythm of a metronome. 2, 4, 9, 13, 21. It wasn't a common broadcast. I knew the number stations radio hobbyists chased late at night, those cursed signals born from Cold War paranoia. But this voice had warmth, breath between the numbers, a tremor that didn't belong to interference. I wrote them down. 2, 4, 9, 13, 21. The sequence burned itself behind my eyelids. Not arithmetic, Fibonacci, crooked, incomplete. I would realize that later. In the moment, I just felt the old vertigo. When numbers start choosing a direction, the body follows. If you play a dirty recorder, the tape will replay everything it's ever touched. But this tape was new. A blank label. The counter untouched. I cleaned it with alcohol. No mold. No oxide dust. Perfect. I rewound and pressed play again. Same voice, same numbers. But every playback added a detail, as if the tape was learning through repetition. On the third listen, between 13 and 21, came a whisper outside the pattern. A name. Isa. I froze. Again. Play. Isa. I swallowed something metallic that wasn't in my mouth. Isabel. No one had said that name around me for 8 years. Isabel vanished in the summer of '79. We were 21. She collected shortwave radios, chasing voices from places we couldn't find on any map. They said when someone disappears by the sea, the ocean keeps the secret. I never blamed the sea. I blamed silence. And silence has an antenna. Part 2. The signal deepens. The man who left the recorder never came back. Not that day, not that week. And when a mystery pays you up front, curiosity becomes a kind of debt. I kept listening, because every sound has its addiction. The first hiss, the first feedback, the first secret. And because between the numbers, that voice said words only I could recognize. The oratory. The basement. The glass. The oratory was in my parents' house, where Isabel and I recorded our first tape back in '77. The basement was where I hid the old valve radio I stole from the club's trash pile. And the glass, that was the window of the tiny apartment where we believed the world would never reach us. I started sleeping in the workshop, waking up to capture curves of noise like someone steering through fog. Then I noticed something strange. If I placed the recorder near the oscilloscope, the voice, changed. The green trace flickered in teeth. The wave turned into a heartbeat. My heartbeat. I wrote everything down. 2, 4, 9, 13, 21, 34, 55. I knew what would come next. 89. But when the tape reached 55, it didn't say 89. It said Isabel, clear, direct. I stopped the machine. There are two explanations for a thing like that. Either you're breaking down, or the tape is editing you. I chose the one I could fix. I opened the Panasonic, flawless. I held the tape against the light. No splices, no re-recordings. I played it on the professional deck. Same thing. I changed outlets, rooms, even the hour of night. Nothing changed the voice. On the third day, a taxi driver came in with a broken television, just a diagonal line across the screen. While I fixed it, he talked. About missing people. The kind of talk you hear from men who spend too much time in cars. He said once, in 1979, a woman had stepped into his cab late at night. She'd asked him to drive without a route. And when the ride was over, she paid with a cassette. Said she'd lost her purse by the beach. I sold the tape for $10, he laughed. Who buys a used cassette? I do, I said. Ah, buh.